It's funny. I went to that event, the mayor, and then they're like, hey, can you order weather shots? So I went to Quincy Quarries, to downtown from Quincy Quarries, and now I'm downtown.
Does it change the question for you?
Inside in the high rises that you can see. Quincy Quarries.
Right.
Maybe.
Okay.
Trying to figure out what
I love when they say, yeah, we'll
call
call
it
it
out.
out. Nice weather.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're down there to almost good.
Calling our unit on the phone.
Yeah,
Not saying anything to me.
Yeah, it's right there. Wonder if there's something exciting.
I know, my wife calls me all the time. Choppers right above us, what's going on? I don't have the standards on right now.
Really bad remarks. I'll send you this right now. Great. Yeah, Haley said the desk is guidance. Today, tomorrow. Having guidance.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. Hey, how are ya?
I'll pass that on.
So it's,
Fabulous.
I'll take that one.
We work in a window. We were in a That's how.
Oh, wow, that's a cool show.
Like 15 years ago.
I like it.
No, nobody really thought about it.
You just shoot that with your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, it was,
Yeah, I have Wendy Lake.
Oh, my,
okay, yeah,
Oh, spotlight.
yeah. Nice. Where's that? Quincy Quarry? Quincy Quarry.
Yeah,
Oh, there's people climbing it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's fun.
Excellent, and you should have
Cool.
audio
Good thinking.
on one, I will be with you here in just a moment.
One more.
I was walking back down a little hill when I seen.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3,
I was like,
4, 5, 5, 4, 3.
Ask and you shall receive.
Okay.
Look at that.
That's you.
My bad. Good? Yeah. Hey, AG's on order. Alright. Not 5 o'clock, I'm guessing.
No.
For a decade or so ago, they take down the salt and bridge, they had to open, rebuild it from scratch. Some of the workers like stole the wrought iron, the brass or something, the fence. So they have to new one. And
We need
some-
to have two folks go sit down.
Sorry.
So we need to have two folks go sit down. This is just-
Yeah, yeah.
You guys have taken up my whole situation here. I should say good morning, good afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon. I know today has been extremely difficult for many, including those in my office, as we all process in different ways this next chapter for our country. Donald Trump is our president-elect. It is absolutely essential to recognize the will of the people and to support a peaceful transition of power. These are central and non-negotiable tenets to being a democracy. At the same time, I am absolutely clear-eyed that President-elect Trump has told us exactly what he intends to do as president. We need to believe him, and we need to be ready for the challenges that lie ahead. Massachusetts will continue to lead, but we are by no means alone. Across the country, attorneys general will be on the front lines of defense. We will certainly be the ones to protect our fundamental rights and freedoms, the rule of law and democracy, reproductive and LGBTQ+ rights, racial justice, environmental protections, and so much more. My office and this incredible team is prepared for the threats our residents may face. We have been working to identify prospective threats under a Trump administration, as well as strategies to best address those threats should they arise. The Massachusetts Attorney General's office is the best public law firm in the country. We will not shy away from the mission to serve, protect, and defend our residents. We are ready for this moment. We are ready to take action as needed. Massachusetts will also continue to be a beacon of light and hope. And our strong protections in state law are as important as they ever have been, including those against discrimination, including those to protect access to reproductive health care, and more. I said to my team this morning, and I employ our residents all across the Commonwealth, as hard as it may be to find evidence of hope and joy in the midst of a wide range of emotions. For me, hope and joy have been essential to helping me navigate very difficult and painful moments in life. And I want to thank Vice President Harris for all of the hope and the joy she continues to exude, but most importantly exuded during the campaign, for the sacrifice and for the hard work she put in. We are resilient and stronger, and more resilient and stronger than we often realize. And know in this season, and I say this to our residents, you are not alone. I will do everything in this office's power to protect our constituents and our values, and we will get through this together. I'm happy to take a few questions on topic, but I also want to just remind folks that it's okay not to be okay, as I said to my team in the office, and that we are ready to do our part to protect them and, of course, to work in partnership with folks in community.
What are the biggest challenges presented by a Trump administration for your office?
I think there's several. So we have been hard at work for some time planning for the possibility of President-elect Donald Trump, and that includes everything related to the rule of law, democratic institutions and the integrity of those institutions, everything having to do with the access to reproductive health care, climate and environmental justice, and so much more. We are an office that always strives to work in partnership and to be collaborative, but where someone violates the law or the spirit of it, or violates the protections of our residents or the values we hold near and dear, we will fight for those. And we will do it, of course, in collaboration with AGs all across this country.
Are there any plans for any kind of, is a possibility that there may be some conflict between the state and federal agencies, I guess, over issues, say, with immigration or folks who are in the country, maybe not legally? Is that anything you've given thought to, and how would you sort of address that kind of conflict?
We have explored and we will continue to explore all the ways in which we protect our residents, whether they are new arrivals to Massachusetts or to this country, whether they are citizens or have a different status. First and foremost, this office is one that leads with compassion and empathy, but most importantly, protects the rights of all of our individuals in Massachusetts. And we have stressed that through guidance related to our schools, related to work permits, you name it. We will continue to stand by this guidance and this legal guidance. And we hope to be able to stand by it with a new administration in January that will also stand by this legal guidance. But if for some reason they don't, we will do what's necessary to fight for our residents. And I also want to just add, like I said, this office always strives to do things in a collaborative approach. But we understand, based on either the commentary from the president-elect, Project 2025, or other commentary, we go into this with our eyes wide open that we may have to do more to protect our residents, and we're ready to do that.
What exactly does this preparation look like? What specifically has your office been doing?
So it is communication with other AGs across the country. It is internal conversations as well. Obviously, this office has been here before with the previous Trump administration and sadly had to file significant lawsuits or other types of enforcement efforts to protect our environment, our climate, even efforts to deal with issues related to our economy, you name it. And so we are full steam ahead in continuing that planning. It is no longer obviously contingency planning, but I want residents to know that we are prepared and ready to protect them. In the midst of the anxiety, the devastation, the grief that many folks are feeling, I want them obviously to take care of themselves, but to remind them that their AG sees them, is going to be here to protect them, and most importantly, do it with them in partnership.
Is there any concern that the courts might not be as, I don't know if it's friendly is the right word, but, as in the past, especially the Supreme Court, if an issue gets that far, is there any concern that on your part that you might have a weaker hand?
I don't think this office is weak by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, I think the office is demonstrating that it has led in the past and will continue to on every issue. And obviously, with respect to the Supreme Court has been going in the wrong direction for some time, including under this current administration. And we have had to step up to protect access to reproductive health care, gender affirming care, everything, of course, with respect to our environment, our clean energy transition, you name it. And we'll continue to do that work. And if anything, this is just a reminder to our people that the work was already happening. And we're going to continue to focus on the work while recognizing they may be in a state of grief and despair, but not to give up hope that we're here to work in partnership with them and most importantly to protect them.
AG Campbell, the president-elect has talked about a mass deportation program that he'd start on day one. using local law enforcement as part of that. Is there anything you can do to stop that if that does happen in January?
So obviously, that is something that we would work with administration on, our law enforcement here, and of course, our AGs across the country. We will see. I just want folks to know that we are prepared for every scenario. Obviously, when he was president before, he led and started with a ban on certain populations and certain constituents. We are well aware of that, and AGs came together then to work in partnership to combat that administration. That won't change in this season. If anything, I think we are prepared. We are ready for the task at hand. And most importantly, I want folks to understand that we can't do this work without them. And that if they feel helpless in this moment in time, don't. Lean into this work with us. We will lean into this work with our constituents, and we will do everything in our power to protect them.
That was the last question, guys. Thank you so much.
Can you just direct, so last year.
Thank you,
I will
guys.
just say thank you all. Obviously, this is the beginning of what will be more conversations with each and every one of you, but thank you all very much.